Rules and fun, they're completely opposite sides of the coin, and they contradict each other 90% of the time when it comes to Dungeons & Dragons. That'd be a great statement if there was any reality there whatsoever. The reality is, balancing fun and rules shouldn't be an either or. The rules should enforce the fun, and the fun should enforce the rules. And if you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. Just my opinion. But let's take a look at balancing rules and fun. If you're ever trying to balance rules and fun, you need to change perspective. So let's talk about that. The first way to kind of balance the rules and fun, if they're going against one another, is focus on storytelling. The rules should help enforce the narrative. So whatever the narrative is that you're actually talking about, whatever that story is, let the rules support it. And that comes to do with things like, if magic is coming down and disappearing from the world, how do the rules enforce that? Well, that's why so many people are limited to having magic. That's why it's so hard to be a magic user in this world, and most magic users are adventurers because they're trying to protect it. Rules can enforce the narrative. Now, how you do this is about personal creativity, but I like to use rules in a lot of cases to force that, to help force the narrative forward. Now, a lot of times this comes in homebrew rules, such as, after you cast your spells, you can push yourself forward. But there's a rule that fits that narrative. Right? We are adventurers. We should be able to push ourselves to the next level, so we have a push rule, right? Don't let the rules hinder what you're doing, and think of the rules as a way to enforce the narrative. If your narrative is different than the rules that are in the book, change the rule, because the DM has the ability to do that. You as a table have the ability to change the rules to fit the narrative. If the rule changes, drive the story forward, it becomes fun. It's that balancing act between balancing rules and having fun. Give it some thought. Another way to help balance rules and fun, ask your players. Player feedback. This is huge. If you're not asking your players and taking a second to say, hey, how was the session? And they say, this whole thing of flanking is really, we just end up daisy chaining each other together, and we're doing it just because that's what the rules do. Okay, that's no longer a rule. We're not going to flank anymore. Okay, that eliminates that thing that was causing the players to play a certain way. So take a second and ask your players what their thoughts are. You'll find out real fast that when your players are giving you feedback and you're making adjustments that makes the game more fun, the rules can support that fun. Rules that hinder from the fun are then removed from your game table. And every table is different. Players will ask for different things. My daughter, who's 12, who's just getting into Dungeons & Dragons, she finds things fun that I have no desire to DM. So she plays on tables that are not mine. She's not going to find my table nearly as fun as those whose rules and whose themes fit what she wants to do. Ask your players for their feedback. They'll amaze you most of the time. Sometimes they'll horrify you. Be ready for that one. The other thing with balancing rules is fun is don't let house rules detract from the fun. A lot of times, game masters, I love you guys, dungeon masters, I make content for you, but you will come up with a house rule that's for you, not for the table, and it starts detracting from the player's fun. I'm not going to call any specifics out there. I'm not going to give any examples, but the thing is that when your players start asking you during that player feedback session, why are we doing this? Why is this going this way? Why do we have to do this? That's the feedback that you need to watch for. Make sure that your house rules aren't detracting. Make sure, like the tip number 1, your rules should support the fun. Don't let your rules take away from the fun because it supports your narrative as a dungeon master. I bring this up because as a DM, I'm addicted to my homebrew rules. I love them so much. Don't let them detract from your play. Let them enhance your play. Keep that in mind. The other way to learn and to kind of help balance rules and fun, learn from examples. Listen to podcasts. Watch people play online. Scroll through. Gather bits and pieces. You don't have to sit there and watch for 4 hours. Find the places that are giving you feedback to where you can actually learn from examples of people doing things different than you. Find games that take what you do that are different. I learn from creators that do things so differently from me that I would never do what they do, but tweak their thing a little bit, and it's perfect for me and my table. Learn from examples of others. Watch games at game stores. Pay attention to what other dungeon masters do and how they rule and how they handle the table and promote fun. Also, watch for what they don't do. When someone makes a ruling and the table goes, pay attention to that too. You can learn from both positives and negatives, but use examples to learn from. You'll be amazed at what you learn from that. And finally, the best way to balance rules and fun is the rule of cool. Not this guy. I love the rule of cool. The rule of cool is one of those things to where when you use it and you help enhance the game for fun, but not detract from player agency, the rule of cool is an amazing thing. The players decide to do something cool, let them do it. Now make them roll for it. Give a varying scale of success based upon the roll so it doesn't just look like your Deus Ex Machina. Let them do whatever they want to do. Give them a DC and let there be a varying degrees of success and failure based upon the rule of cool. But when your players want to do something, really focus on the yes. Can I say yes to this? Because, man, that's cool and I'd love to see it happen. Guys, these are 5 ways that you can take and balance rules and fun. The bottom line to this thought process is that rules and fun aren't opposite sides of the coin. They should support one another. And if any time the rules are detracting from the fun, you need to consider that. Now, some people are like, well, my players are just, they're just saying they're not having fun because of this rule. Well, there's exceptions to this. There's nuance to this. I'm not just going to say that, everyone's like, there's a lawless table. We know that that's not what we're talking about. We're taking advantage of semantics of that situation. The bottom line is something comes up, like the flanking rule, for example. I don't use flanking because flanking just creates a daisy chain. Person over here, person here, person here, person here, person here, because everyone's going to flank everyone else. You get a line of combatants fighting one another. You don't mean to do it, but it happens way too often. So keep that in mind, guys. And again, as always, I always get it lying. Like, subscribe, push button thingy, hit the notification bell. Help us grow this channel, and we will see you next time on the flip side. Guys, thank you so much.